The Film Crickets are intended for mature audiences. Any guests on the Film Crickets do not necessarily share the same opinions as the Film Crickets. It's time for the Film Crickets with Jay Fortier, Chris Martineau, and Melanie Howerton. On this week's episode, our good friend Ray Auger joins the show, and Jay, Chris, Melanie, and Ray review the 1980 American romantic Western film, Urban Cowboy.
I grew up idolizing guys like Fonzie and Vinnie Barbarino because they got a lot of chicks. You know what happened to Fonzie and Vinnie Barbarino?
Yeah, I read that Fonzie wants to be a director, and Barbarino, I think the Mechanical Bull movie, I didn't see it yet.
Does it stand the test of time? Let's find out. Your Film Crickets are on now.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is that? I know
Welcome,
that like, right now.
That's Wedding Singer. Wedding Singer.
That's right. Yeah, because I knew Adam Sandler's voice. I love that movie.
And then it's followed by him saying, because nobody wants to see 50-year-old guys hitting on chicks, so their shows got canceled.
Yeah.
So welcome, everybody. My name is Jay Fortier. I'm along with my good friend Chris Martineau. How you doing, man?
Hello, Jason. What's up?
Not much, man. And also with my good friend and co-host Melanie Howerton. How are you?
Good. How are you? I do have a headache. I told you. I don't feel that good
today. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll do our best to make you feel better with this wonderful film. We are joined today by once again, we haven't seen him in a little while, but he's I think I said he's probably our most frequent guest, and that is Ray Auger.
Howdy, partners.
Yeah, man, he's got the cowboy hat. Was that a Brooks and Dunn shirt or?
No, this is, I'll give a plug to Rick Walker out on Newbury Street in Boston. Rick Walker's.
Cool, man.
Apparel and hats and boots and concert T-shirts and all sorts of cool things.
We don't have a net shirt or anything that you want to wear?
A what?
A net shirt?
A net. like Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or so bolo
tie. I didn't see too many bolo ties, though.
No.
Did you see bolo ties? I don't think so.
No, I didn't.
You figure you would, especially with that shirt like that John Travolta wore at the end, the pink one, like that type of shirt that they had.
Oh, God.
Yes, I know. Well, listen, let's take you on a journey back.
Okay.
Like a couple months, and we originally planned, because Melanie said, let's do a bad movie. Right? Because it's
right
fun.
Out of the gate.
They are fun to do because they're not easy to watch, but fun to destroy. I've said that for a while.
Not easy to watch.
Yeah. So we were supposed to do it in May, and Ray was going to be our guest for that. And I watched it, and then Chris had to cancel. And I said, "Oh no, we're going to do something else. I don't care what it is. We're going to do another movie." So I forget what we chose or what happened, but we did not stick with that. I said, I want Chris's anger on this movie, right? I said, he has to join us. I said, so then all of a sudden, once again, Melanie said, hey, let's do a bad movie. I go, wait, we never did it. So I was like, you guys want to do it? Sure. And then I feel bad, like, as the text, the group text start floating in, it's like, and it's like I'm like, just don't kill the messenger. I didn't do it. like I don't want to be the guy like I was the guy that liked Killer Clowns from Outer Space and everybody was bragging on me.
The Clue.
Yeah. See.
Clue. Cluegate. So here we are, ready to embrace that which is Urban Cowboy. What I would call the country and western Saturday Night Fever, coming of age story. And stress the word coming. Boy's a lot of sex in this movie. Anyway, I want to get into the film and talk. Look, not on screen, But the first time,
Okay.
Travolta comes out from the sticks to go into the lesser sticks, because everyone in Texas is the sticks, as far as I'm concerned. Goes from the super sticks to the not so super sticks, and the first night there is in a 3-way. That's how we start the movie, folks. That's the movie. What?
Wait, set up by his aunt and uncle.
Yes.
His aunt and uncle. His aunt and uncle said, "Hey, guy from Major League." The coach from Major League, come over here and hook up my my nephew. He's in town for the first night. Threesome.
Unbelievable. Anyway, so look, I think I know where we stand on this. I usually start with, what's your history with this movie? I would like to do that. I think I know the answer going around, but I'd like to go forward and say, what's your history with this movie? And also, what's your future with this movie? How many times do you see yourself rewatching this film later on in life? And Melanie, I'll start with you.
Okay, good.
Okay, go.
So let's see. I don't think I've ever watched it. I don't know. I remember what they looked like, so I don't know if I just knew of it because I remember what Deborah Winger and John Travolta looked like in the movie, but I know I've never seen it. I watched the whole thing with my hand on fast forward.
Me too.
And it still seemed to have taken 5 hours, even though just to how long it felt. Every time he was in the car driving somewhere or at work, or it wasn't something that didn't seem like it was important, or him standing out in the backyard for like forever, I'd be like, fast forward. I just hurry up, let's get to the next thing so I don't miss anything important that I have to talk about. Will I watch it again? Hell no.
Okay, good.
And I don't need to watch any movie that has the words honky tonk in it.
I tried to, as a rule in life, I try to avoid the word honky tonk whenever possible.
The music was torture to me. So it's not only the fact that it was just the most boringest thing ever, but it was torture to me. Torture.
You don't like Hey Jay, how many songs from our days as wedding DJs are in this movie? At least 2 or 3.
God.
At least 2 or 3. Can I have this dance?
Yes.
And is another one too.
But look what you've done to me by Boz Scaggs.
There it is. Look. Oh my God.
Not like that.
Terrible.
It's like when all
guys, can I tell you?
guys were on the stage with the guitars, and it was like really sounding like honky tonk, like that kind of.
Can I tell you a side story real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
I saw Toto a few years back. Let me tell you something. They rock. They are really like a fun hard rock band that kind of sometimes would get painted into the adult contemporary corner as far as what radio perceived them as. Yep. But like I was really into them. They're such amazing musicians, and they. I used to play with Boz Scaggs. I guess they were his backup band or whatever. Anyways, they came with him, but he was like the second band. Well, he's a lot more mellow. Like the Lido Shuffle is his most upbeat style song. Lido, like that's it, right? So you got this really hard rocking band, and then this more mellow band that comes out second. Dude, it was like watching the Super Bowl, and then all right, everybody, let's watch fishing.
Hey.
So. No offense to Boz Scaggs, but it was like a total downshift. I mean, I was like rah! Like I was so like hyped, and now I'm just chilling.
Jay, I'll do you one better. Let's watch the Super Bowl, and then let's watch competitive mechanical bull riding. Ray, what is your history with this film, and what's your future with this film?
Well, let's see. I grew up in the 70s, so I think I saw this on TV, like the movie of the week. Or maybe early days of HBO, perhaps, in passing, bits and pieces. And of course, growing up, John Travolta was the man from Grease and Welcome Back, Kotter, especially. I don't really remember Staying Alive too much, but this one came right after. But I remember the poster and clips. So I thought this was, and I want to say it got a lot of critical acclaim at the time. So I'm thinking at 51 years old, a few months ago, I'm like, I got to watch Urban Cowboy. How could I miss that classic? So I watch it, and I got about halfway through, and then I think I did a show with you guys and complained about it. And I just went back to finish it this afternoon. And it was tough. Yeah. Like Melanie said, it was tough to get through it. And I don't, you know what? I don't think I'd watch it again. It's entertaining in a comedic comedic way. Maybe I'll watch it high. You know, I don't get high a lot. But I feel like that might be a movie that you can watch when you're high.
We revisit it high. Like we're like, hey, let's watch it next year. High.
I loved the music. I love the soundtrack. I think I'm a Southern boy at heart. You know, in another world, another life. I don't know about Texas, but no, I like the honky tonk. I mean, Gillies is a famous. It's a real bar.
Yeah.
Mickey Gillis owned it, and he was in the movie. Charlie Daniels Band. I mean, they were awesome. It was, you know what? I started laughing when John Travolta danced. I think that was in his contract where he had to dance in every movie he was in. And I remember at that point I had to pause and go, I don't know, do the laundry or something just to watch that out of my head. And then I went back to it. I wouldn't watch it again. But I'm looking for the soundtrack. It's not on Apple iTunes.
All right.
Can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I was mostly excited to see Charlie Daniels come out and weird crossover hit, isn't that?
Is he blind, by the way? His eyes were closed through the whole thing.
I don't
think he's blind.
I don't think he's blind.
It was almost like a Ray Charles type thing or a Stevie Wonder type thing. He was just eyes closed through the whole movie.
He's feeling the music, man. He's feeling the music. Yeah. He's channeling the devil.
Channeling.
I don't know.
We're back to Amityville.
Yeah, the devil being Scott Glenn, right?
Would you watch Amityville again over this?
What's that?
Chris, would you watch Amityville again over this?
Yes, 100%.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
100%. 100%. No doubt about it. All right, Jason. Oh, we kind of got it, but would you watch we got your history.
Well, I watched it years ago. Years ago, like when I say years ago, I mean like 20 years ago. And I've been dying to bitch about this movie with a lot of other people, so it's finally my shot. But I had to watch it in May because I thought we were going to do it, but I wanted to watch it again in case it was something else I wanted to pick up on. So unfortunately, once. Twice.
Yeah.
Oh man, 3 times.
You remember everything in the very long, boring movie of what happened.
No, but it's just the thing was. Well, it's not just. See, I know it's boring, but like I don't look at it as boring. I look at it as like there's so much anger-inducing moments where I'm really fucking pissed while I'm watching it. Like going, like it's not about boredom. I'm like, dude. Chill, like, you know what I mean? Like, chill out, man. You are like a hair trigger at all times. And we'll get into that, but I just like, you know, there's just so many moments I'm like, like, you know, the way they behave and like, it's just really, really upsetting.
He's a baby, Chris. He's like a big baby having a temper tantrum, and he's jealous.
He's a baby the whole movie,
thing.
And there's no character arc.
And the faces that he makes, he's so jealous of everything.
No,
it's this.
Wasn't that Travolta's thing though back in the day? He was always kind of whiny and kind of a baby with all of his roles. Greased, I mean, Danny was a little whiny.
Yeah, you're right.
Staying Alive, he was a little whiny until he started dancing. Danced the wine out of himself, and then he was fine. I felt like that was his character.
Maybe. Then it's annoying.
Listen, stylistically, I thought this was a stunning movie. I thought they shot it well. I liked the scenery. I liked the bar, obviously, and the music was good. So there was a lot of good things, but I think the script fell short, and I think everybody overacted a little bit. Deborah Winger was charming.
Yeah,
I'll give her that.
Sure,
I think so.
Sure. I think people acted, except for some of the bit players. I think Travolta did exactly what it was asked of him.
Yeah,
I believe Deborah Winger did what's asked of her. Scott Glenn was great. He's a great scumbag. He's always kind of good, even when he's not a scumbag. He was in Silence of the Lambs. Very good at that. He was Stick in Daredevil. So good as Stick. It's kind of like a not easy to like. And he's got these striking features. And obviously, he's the real man in the situation, right? He is the cowboy that Travolta aspires to. Let me just say about this movie. Look, I knew it existed. I never watched it. I've never watched all of Saturday Night Fever. I've seen this movie in bits and pieces on film anthologies. Probably when I was looking at stuff about Pulp Fiction and I was trying to learn about Travolta. I had no desire to watch this movie, and then we got the assignment. I rented it.
Sorry.
I rented it. I just don't trust myself to give myself the week trial and remember to cancel it. I don't. I'd rather...
I go right in and do it.
I know. I don't trust myself to do that. So I'm like, it's $4, whatever. So I did oh my God. I sincerely tell you, I was just telling my wife about this. I will never, ever watch this movie ever again. I've seen it. I'm all set. I'm done. Like I said, I just watched The Meg 2. I would watch that again, back to back, than watch this movie. And I like The Meg 2. It's just silly as shit. I watched Crossroads the other day.
Oh.
Crossroads, so good.
Well, it's funny you say that because there was a moment during Urban Legend, yeah.
I wish we watched that.
Really good movie.
Wrong podcast.
Have you done that? Have you done that
No,
one
we're
yet?
gonna do that. We were going to, and I watched it and did the trivia for it, and we got canceled for something. I forgot.
Oh, Crossroads, so good.
But I kind of felt there was a crossroads moment in that movie. Scott Glenn being the devil and John Travolta having to go up against him for the final, which is every movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of Crossroads a lot.
Yep, sure. All right, so hey, let's do the IMDb breakdown, and we're gonna dive into this fine film. And again, critically acclaimed. Ray's not kidding. Like, it gave Amazon Prime has this at 5 stars. How? Not sure. Maybe they're on shrooms. Not entirely. I don't know. So we've got Urban Cowboy. Came out in 1980. Rated PG. You know, the PG movie that starts with the 3-way. That you don't see, but still. And comes in at 2 hours and 12 minutes. Oh. And the one sentence breakdown pretty much sums it up. Bud is a young man from the country who learns about life and love in a Houston bar. Director James Bridges, written by Aaron Latham, written by James Bridges, starring John Travolta, Deborah Winger, Scott Glenn, Madeline Smith as Pam, Barry Corbin, James Gammon, who's from Major League, and Mickey Gilley himself is in it. Bonnie Raitt was in it.
Yeah,
Bonnie Raitt has always looked that age, huh?
Yeah, like that she still has that strand of gray.
Yeah.
Like it's like even in 1980.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
I had a Bonnie Raitt album. She looked exactly like that. Love Bonnie Raitt, by the way.
I have that
so
in there.
good.
I was going to ask if you guys noticed her in there.
Oh, she's so good. So anyway, so let's get into it. Hey, so movies are about people, right? You put people in tough situations, and you see what those fictional people will do. So, like for instance, that's how like kind of Stephen King writes. He gives a kind of a fictional setting, and he develops characters, and he throws all the people in the characters and into the setting. Excuse me, and let's see how they interact with each other. So we have these people. We have John Travolta coming from the sticks in the farm. For whatever reason, wants to leave the farm to move to become a urban cowboy. That is to say, rather than grow turnips, refine oil, which is obviously big business in Texas. And he needs to grow up. And that's when you have the character arc, when the hero's journey is growing up, which obviously he has to do, and become a quote-unquote man in the eyes of the urban cowboys. Usually by the end of the movie, they have some characteristics they've worked on through the movie. These people suck from beginning to end and learn nothing. Am I wrong? Have they learned nothing? All the major characters learn nothing for all their troubles. Am I wrong? That's what infuriated me about the fucking movie. Sorry.
They learned at the end that the two of them belong together.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they belong together, but in their eyes, they thought they belonged together. So who knows what happened when they went home? It all could have felt a shit after that.
Right.
But I was waiting for that redeeming factor, and he won the fucking thing. I mean, that was it. So it wasn't even about their love life.
Are you thinking about what we were thinking about as far as how do you tell who wins on a on the bull riding contest?
I'm guessing. I'm going to guess.
They judged the bull. How did that work?
Yeah.
It was 40 points for the bull,
Yeah.
40 up to 40 points with the or 25 for the bull, 25 for the rider.
Right.
The bull isn't even real. How are they judging the bull?
It doesn't make sense. It would make sense like if they did it time-wise, like whoever stays on the longest wins. Oh, this one stayed on for 40 minutes. This one stayed on for 20 minutes. So, you know what I mean? But like
40 minutes.
All the exact amount of minutes, and then people are like, "Yeah, he's got this one. He
It's
can
also
I don't
style.
get it."
But it's style, I think, because and this is
Yeah,
what
I think it's
What style?
Oh,
It's this.
I think it's yes, but like, hold on, like, and I'm not. Listen, I am not. Look at Ray. He's just boogieing.
Hold on.
No, but
Really quick,
I am.
quick.
Good.
Go ahead.
No, sorry.
No, I noticed that John Travolta's hat stayed on. Scott Glenn's hat flew off. That got him points.
That got him points? Oh,
I think so.
I think also that it's. If you notice, and trust me, I'm not. I'm not sticking up for any like type of like like I'm not going. This is how, but like my guess is, like he had a lot more like I guess like wild arm, like you know what I mean, like where it was going like more into like a hey, like I said, not defending. I it's just my like what I'm saying is though it was like this weird like twist as he would go. It was like like and I don't know. It just he flailed more than the other people, like, and it was more like it had this. I don't know. I'm just saying,
if this were the Olympics and they were going
I'm not.
on style points,
there's no argument.
No, I know. But that's so fucking stupid because if it were the Olympics, like you'd have people and they'd have a rubric and they'd be bringing it down to tenths of a point because of this level of difficulty. And well, you know, it was a lower level of difficulty, but it did it for longer. So he gets it. It's just fucking this.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I saw. This is ridiculous.
And you would think that people who are flaring around more look like they're doing worse because they can't like maintain a calm posture on the thing. I mean, I don't get the reason for the points. To me, it should be a timing thing. Whoever stays on for this many minutes, who stays on for this many minutes without getting flown off. And every time
let's bring out our third guest.
Wouldn't you think they would increase the bowl, like to make it more powerful each time? So it's like flinging people around more, and then whoever, you got to this round, now you got to this round, now you get to go again, and now it's compared to both. Who gets to stay on longest at the higher speed or something? It just doesn't make sense.
This guy ended up behind the bar.
Ray,
All right, listen. Just as in other rough stock events, you know, like the other ones, there are two judges watching each ride. Both judges are watching the rider and the bull, scoring them on their performance. Not how long they stay on their performance. Judges score the rider from 0 to 25 and the bull 0 to 25, which again, mechanical.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
All right.
The 4 judge scores are added together with the total maximum score of 100 points. And
Ray,
well, now we're more confused.
On your website, on your website, is that like a website for like the National Mechanical Bull Riding Competition?
This is Wikipedia. No.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's the crowd. Maybe it's the crowd. The crowd goes more crazy for
my
my point is silverspursrodeo.com.
Okay, so my point is this: you may have referenced that to something that you could footnote, and some colloquium of yokels got together and figured out how to score this stuff. Fine, I'll give you that. We're talking about this little bar in the middle, not little, but it's a big bar, but still, the fact of the matter is just a bunch of townies, a bunch of local yokels, like coming up with some arbitrary scoring rules.
Well, I think they went by the, I mean, bull riding existed back then in a
mechanical bull riding?
I think they went by real bull riding scores and rules.
All right.
Maybe judging the bull was just for fun.
This for funsies.
Hey,
I would look,
guys.
Wait a minute.
It could be 2 hours and 15 minutes by the time we're done talking about the bull.
My point is, and I kept saying
the length of the film.
Look, and Ray, you can back me up on this. I think, and Jay can too. And I don't know if Melanie can sing, but the fact of the matter is, like to me, mechanical bull riding is just a drunken bar gimmick that you get a bunch of drunken losers to get on. And I'm not saying. Rewind. That's a little mean-spirited. A bunch of drunken people, because I would be that guy. I'd get on the mechanical bull drunk and fall off. So
I'd do it. I would do it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I strike loser from the record for that. Only that. But my point is that it's a drunken bar activity. You get on, you get loaded, you try to stay on as long as you can. And then people cheer if you fall off, or they cheer if you stay on. It is as interesting as karaoke. It's the same thing. Yeah. You're either good at it and you knock everybody's socks off, or you suck at it because you're drunk and you just go sing anyway. And it's like giving points to the karaoke track. Well, I got 25 points for the recording and the background recording of this song.
Love Shack.
That's
First of all, karaoke did not exist in 1980. I believe it did not.
Fair enough.
What else did these people have in this small little urban town?
One word, Budweiser. Oh, wait, and 2 words, Lone Star. That's the only thing that's going on in this town. That's it. Nothing else. Lone Star Beer and Budweiser. Do these people drink water? I'm just wondering. Does anybody drink water?
Well, Budweiser's close enough.
I mean, dude,
Good point.
dude,
Good point.
his name is Bud.
Is Bud? Yeah.
I wrote that down. Of course, his name is Bud and her name is Sissy. It has to be
like,
Sissy and Bud. It's got to be.
Oh God. Anyway, so these
guys, somebody took a pen and put it to paper and wrote this film. Like that's what I found mind-boggling. Like it was like that, and then it's like, oh, okay, let's have. What a waste of an opening. We have to watch him come downstairs and say, I don't want to eat breakfast. I just want to get going. You meet his family for half a second. You don't even get to see half of them, and they're like, bye, we love you. Hey. Why?
It just reminded me of the beginning, and it reminded me of like Footloose. I was like, is this like gonna be like a Cowboy Footloose version? You know, I don't know, because like, you know, he went from like this country and he went somewhere else, and then he met Deborah Winger, and then she was kind of, I don't know, I thought maybe she was gonna be like the bad girl in it or something.
But
it just reminded me of that
we don't need to see him at his home saying, I don't want to eat breakfast, I just want to go. Like,
I got to establish that's an establishing
where he's from
scene, I guess.
I know,
he's
but
here and then he's there.
I guess we saw Daniel LaRusso and his mom driving away while everybody's like just chasing after him. Yay! We didn't have to watch him like, you know, in the house trying to like, you know, eat biscuits and gravy.
But let's look at it this way too. And I'm going to agree with Ray. I think it was an important moment that didn't need necessarily the dialogue. Maybe it's an editing problem. Maybe they wrote it in there, and then the editor should have said, we really don't need this. We just need an establishing shot of him saying bye to his family. That would have been better, right?
Or he could have just been driving.
Please shorten this movie. Put this movie in a dryer on high heat and let it tumble and let it shrink. So my point is this. But they're establishing that in order for John Travolta to grow up, to be a man, right? To be a man, he needs to go to Houston to work hard. And nothing against, like, oil refinery is very important. It's hard work. You know what I mean? I do not bemoan any blue collar anything. I'm not saying that. It's very hard work. And if that's where you want to go make the money in the oil refinery business in this podunk town. But still, podunk towns are the backbone of the United States. As much as I'm not going to go to the honky tonk, the fact of the matter is a lot of good people do a lot of blue collar work and blue collar recreation at these places. My point is that what are we saying if the point of the movie is John Travolta is going to grow up by becoming an urban cowboy, not growing crops, but refining oil? What are we saying about farmers in this movie? Like, that's not really a thing. Like, you can't grow up if you're still on the farm. That's insulting to farmers.
I didn't think of that.
You know what I mean?
Get out of town. I don't know. But you're right. He would have become a man, milking the cows.
Yeah. I mean, you can legit go ride actual bulls on your farm, not go to Houston. But you know what? Less three-ways on the farm. I'm going to keep going back to the three-way. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Melanie.
He went there because he needed to make more money for some reason, and his uncle had a job for him. I didn't think it had to do with the whole growing up thing, which obviously what the movie's about. But I thought he went there for a job.
Well, that might be the case, but I think you're right. That's what lured him out there. But it does become like, I want to be like these guys. Right, I want to be the guy that goes to the oil plant all day and then drinks his paycheck away at night, and then he goes to his fabulous double wide and does the same thing the next day. And the only recreation I have is with these other men that are grown up in his eyes. In his eyes, the people at Gillies are grown-ups. And I'm not saying anything against the people at Gillies, but I mean, that's what he's aspiring to. So what else is his life going to end up as? He's going to be a country song. Right? He's going to marry somebody, and 5 weeks later, she's going to cheat on him with the guy that runs the mechanical bull. Think about that statement.
Wow.
That's a country song.
Whatsoever. He literally walked off and did actually sleep with someone when she did not do that. And then then she thinks she has to be sorry later on. Like, she has nothing to be sorry for.
She didn't know her place as a female. She got on that bowl, and she should have known better.
Yeah. All right.
And so when she writes
No,
that
man,
letter to
say
him,
no.
when she wrote that letter to him, she's like, "I'm sorry for last night. He is sleeping with someone else. He's living with someone else. He cheated on you right away, and you're sorry because you're good at bull riding, and you did it in front of him to show him how good you were and how
No.
You're so sorry." Like,
Well, I think she was apologizing for the sultry version of it. Like she,
good.
like not
Good for her.
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
No. I'm just saying that, like she. But by the way,
you know, he deserved
everything.
bit of
Nobody
that.
can read anybody in this, like, you know, in that relationship. It's like, like
Mm-hmm.
you know. Now, I'm not saying that you have to give in to this guy. You should also know not to like aim to piss him off. Like, you know, when the guy's got a hair fucking trigger, trigger, he gets angry and stews real fast, right? Like it doesn't take long. First off, let's start. She pinches him because he's tickling her in a diner, right? He's like giving her a tickle, and she's like, "Stop it, stop it!" And then she pinches him. He slaps her in the face, so she walks off, right? He takes off, like after she's like gonna, you know, hitchhike, and he's like, no, and they start going after he's like, "Get in the truck." No, all right. And then he starts to pick her up. They start wrestling. They fall into a puddle. They're basically like, you know, he's like manhandling her the whole time. They almost get hit by another truck coming into the parking lot. So they get in, and when they catch their breath, he goes, "You won't get married?" Boom! Where are they getting married?
And Gillies.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Yep.
All this town has is Gillies. That's it.
That's what I mean. They have the oil refinery in Gillies.
I have
Yeah,
to
there's
in that trivia.
home.
So angry. Oh, but real quick, one last thing. I said when I was saying, like, you know, try not to like piss the guy off. I'm just saying that she's clueless in the sense of what would make him happy when she goes, "I want to learn it so I can surprise Bud. I want to learn how to ride the bull." He said, "I don't want you riding that fucking thing." Like he said, "I don't want you riding the bull." Like, you should know your place as a woman. And I'm not saying that she should have known her place as a woman. I'm just saying that I would say, I'm going to guess that that's going to piss him off.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
And it's like, and he's already hit you once. I don't know. Like, you should be careful on at least trying those type of things. That's all.
Can we talk about Wes for a second?
Hold on, can I?
Oh, go
I
ahead.
want to talk
I'm
about
just
Wes.
trying to
No,
say-
I just want to. I want to cover myself and just say that I know that when I was saying before that he is living a country song. Like, I understand that she didn't cheat on him. I was just like, it sounds like in his head he's living the country song that he hears about so much. For the first thing, and second of all, and with the way that he proposes, which is what is happening. Like, first of all, red flag, run away. That's the first thing you do, lady.
Yeah.
You don't gotta deal with this, but whatever. I just gotta tell a story. I worked at a supermarket. I had a manager who was from the South, the Deep South. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. This is not an aspersion on the Deep South, but this is a quote by him. He said to me, this is in Connecticut. I lived in Connecticut, and he said to me, "Y'all take marriage real seriously up here." He's been married 4 times. He was 30.
Wow.
Like, he's just like, you just get married and then you just get divorced and then you get married again. And I'm like, again, I'm trying not to broad stroke, but the fact of the matter is, like, maybe like we're looking into some microcosm of that culture that I don't want to understand.
He's
and
like
I don't
ownership.
will never
It's more
understand.
Like ownership.
Yeah.
The piece of paper to them is ownership.
Right, which is so again, Melanie. Again, that's why these people are despicable. You can't get on their side because everybody. Men are just treating the women like property the entire time, even at the end, which is terrible. All right, so Melanie, talk to me about the guy.
Okay, so what I wanted to say about Wes was, like, in the beginning when you see him, I mean, you know he's been to prison, but whatever, you don't know what for, or you know, like, I don't know, you just people can
domestic
have
abuse,
bad
maybe?
luck. You know, let's just say people can have bad luck. Who knows? But I think it was for robbing somebody or something. They said later on.
Banks.
But in the beginning, you don't.
She
know.
said, "I don't care how many banks you robbed."
Yeah. So, but the thing is, it's like, you know, at first he seems like he's such a super nice guy. Like, okay, he's just going to show her how to ride this. He's going to show other people. And his flirtatious personality, he's kind of flirting with somebody that, you know, he probably normally wouldn't flirt with when he's trying to teach somebody else how to do the bowl thing. So I'm like, he's just trying to make money. Oh, come on, we'll get you on the bowl. I don't know, whatever. He seems like he's kind of nice, and then she goes over his when he says, "Oh, can I help?" So then they dance, and and then she goes back to his trailer when the other girl goes off with John Travolta, and she's kissing him and everything, and then she leaves, and he eats the worm and whatever, and he kind of just laughs a little bit, like he doesn't seem like he's angry enough. He just seems like he's just a normal person. He's not going to be mean or anything. You just think he's normal. And then all of a sudden you get to like the last 10 minutes of the movie, and I feel like they had to be like, all right, this isn't going anywhere, so we have to do something quick. All right, so she's going to walk in, and he's not only going to be cheating on her, but within 2 seconds, now he's physically abusing her as well. And he continues to do that now for the rest of the movie. So it was like the last 5 seconds, like, okay, he's not only a cheater, but he's also massively physically abusive. And there was literally no signs of any of this before. And I feel like they just had to, like, the movie was going nowhere, and it was so boring. And I feel like they just had to, like, change something at the very last second. It just kind of seemed like it was just so forced. And
sure, he was already a good adversary because he was, without any of that stuff, he was the cowboy.
Yeah.
He was the person John Travolta wanted to be. And John Travolta is already obviously super jealous of everything.
Yeah.
That when he sees Scott Glenn and we sees Wes and we sees him with his wife, who he's obviously doesn't have a very healthy relationship with, like, he aspires to be him, and that would have been enough. Because he's obviously better than John Travolta at everything involving mechanical bull riding. I'm going to say that sentence one more time. He's very envious of him because of the way he can ride that fake bull and live in the trailer in the back of the bar. But anyway.
And his muscles.
So that would have,
net shirt.
Yeah, and he's handsome as fuck. Like and he wears, the way he sits on that bull and he's got the thing down, he's on the black shirt. Like, he's like, that's a good look. Like, he's a studly looking man. You wouldn't have had to do any of that other stuff.
Guys.
And I think that was so unnecessary. I'm sorry. Ray,
No.
what? Jay, who? What?
No, but Melanie already mentioned the weird scene of, like, the two couples dancing with each other.
Yeah.
So Travolta's dancing with Pam, Sissy's dancing with Wes,
They're both
right?
staring
Like
at
making each other,
Yeah.
right? Like, making like hands are on asses and stuff like that. Like, it's like, wow, this is like a couple of weeks into the marriage, right?
Yeah.
No, but the worst line ever is what Travolta says, and he goes, "When are you going to take me home and rape me?"
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember when he said that.
So sensitive.
And I'm probably paraphrasing, but it was pretty close.
He said that, I think. I think that's exactly
No,
what
but
he said.
those words were there, but I just like, I might not be saying it verbatim, but when are you
Yeah.
going to take me home and rape me?
Yeah.
He's so lovable. Like, John Travolta is so lovable in this movie. Hey, Ray, if ever, and again, I just want to throw something past you. If you're married,
Yes.
and for a while, very happy with your wife, I am assuming. And I don't know enough about you personally. It's, very happy guy, so I can tell you have a great marriage, right?
Yeah.
But you suddenly are in the outs with your wife, and you get a girlfriend quick.
Yeah.
And your parents call and say, "Hey, you want to bring your wife over for pie?" You say, "Well, no, but I'll bring my girlfriend." And they're like, "Okay."
Oh, yeah,
He's
no
so
problem.
lovable.
Yeah.
He's so lovable, this guy. You love him.
It's the South. It's the deep South.
Oh my God.
I don't know, but I did feel like the story was moving way too fast.
Yeah.
Like, then she's hooking up with Wes, and he's living in the penthouse apartment. And,
Yeah.
But that's what he wanted to be, right? He wanted to be a man, and here's a girl who's got some money and she's got some class, and he's thinking, this is what I need to do to get to that next level of becoming a man. This woman's going to take care of me, and what he really needed in the end was just to be himself and love who he loved originally.
What about that line he says when after he thinks the girl cleans the house, he's like, "I love having a woman in the house." It's like that's the woman's job. You know what I mean? Like.
Chauvinistic. This whole fucking movie is chauvinistic.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and he's with Pam. You know the scene where he's trying to saw his cast off with a saw?
Yes.
On his hand?
Yes.
Remember that moment? That was a good time. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So he's got this obvious, like, person of a higher class, just higher social class than he is. You live in a double wide. She lives in a penthouse apartment, and you're sawing your cast off because you don't have enough money to go to the doctor again. and she's behind you trying to be supportive, even though she's being a little sneaky about not showing him the card that was in the bedroom that his wife left, but whatever. Boy, that sounds like a country song. But the fact of the matter is, he says to this woman, "That's my song, turn it up." There's no pleases.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't hardly hear it. Can you turn it up?
I said,
more?
turn it up.
I said, turn it up. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, how about a please, jackass?
Yeah.
Like, this is how everybody talks to everybody. Even the people in the good relationships. It's like, there's a lot of just, you do this and then they do it. And how is this a hit? How was this a critically acclaimed movie? I don't.
How was it PG? How was it PG?
Yep.
That's what I don't get. Is this what we were teaching kids in 1980?
Mm-hmm.
Parental guidance. Yeah.
No.
Did anybody else
Bringing
think
them
the
in.
dancing just looked like they were just walking around real fast in circles?
Well, yeah.
two-step is kind of like that anyway.
It just seemed like they were just walking super fast, and every once in a while they'd just go in a circle.
I got more dizzy from the dancing scenes than I did the bull riding scenes.
Guys, dancing.
Spinning.
How about him dancing with Pam, and he's got the cast on, and he's spinning her with the cast hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, he's literally like, and she's ducking under it. He's not hitting her at all with that cast. You know, it seems a little loose too at the same time. The way he's like spinning her around, like, you know, I mean, with that cast.
Like
on.
in the morning when she's trying to get him, when she's like, "Do you want breakfast? Do you want coffee?" No, just give me a beer. What is he like? It's like now she's a slave now, like in every way.
Right.
A random thought.
Yes.
Towards the end, and I don't know what this means or what it has to do with the movie or the filmmakers or the actors or whatever, but I thought for half a second, I said, "Where's all the gay cowboys?" Just popped in my head. Where's all the gay cowboys? Because there was so much machismo in this that I just assumed, well, maybe that guy's gay. He's got a different story. I wanted to learn about that guy because it was I drifted off into this other world.
Sure, I mean,
I got no answers, so it was really just a random point of view.
Hey, Ray, here's the thing.
Sequel.
But here's the thing, Ray. Yeah. Here's the thing. In that bar, statistically speaking,
right?
There had to be gay cowboys in there.
Well, I think I was looking at some of the guys. They looked so angry, and they weren't treating their women right. And I just thought to myself, well, he's so angry that he has to be with the woman. Maybe that's part of it. He's not living his true life. Right? That's a sequel right there.
Yeah, I don't think they would have been accepting of that whatsoever.
No, they're still not in Texas, probably.
Wow. I'm skating around it. Jay just drops the bomb. Yeah, well, you know what? They don't like them gay guys down there.
Well, listen, there's a lot
I
on
know.
that.
I feel like this was their first relationship too. Like, just let me out of the car. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, just reminded me. I'm like, this has got to be their very first relationship, and even
how old were they?
in there.
I said early 20s, my guess.
Well, in real life, they're 25, 26, but I think they were like 18 or something.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. Were they like 18 or?
I don't know. I was throwing early 20s at them.
That's why I couldn't handle that relationship. That's why I think like they learned nothing.
Well, guys,
by the end.
the arc that you were talking about.
Really, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was saying the arc that you know was barely there. You know, at the end, like his spoiler alert from a 1980 film. If you haven't seen it by now, no, but at the end, like he's talking to his uncle while they're doing a graveyard shift. His uncle says, like, you know, you got to swallow that pride, man. You know, it's one of the 7 deadlies. Then he goes up on the higher area in the oil rig or whatever, and then a lightning strike happens and kills the uncle. So he gets the lecture, you know, like the good lecture from his uncle. You know, good advice. Uncle dies. And then the funeral happens, and then that night is the rodeo that he says he's not going to go to, but he goes to anyway. Then he goes and wins the thing. But, like, he's still with Pam at this time. So we get this supposed growth in about, like, a matter of, like, a day or two, where he goes, oh, uncle, like, you know, I learned not to be prideful. Okay. I saw you die, and that's very sad. So, like, you know, I should grow up and take that advice. that was so short, like that little growth period. Like, it's like, hey, I'm better now. So by the time he sees her at the end and he realizes that she's got the bloody face, the swollen face, he sees her at the end, like in the car. Here's how I took it the first time. It wasn't quite like this, but it felt this way, especially the first time. He beats the shit out of you. I only slapped you. That's what it fucking felt like. Take me back. Take me back, because I know, that was wrong, I guess. It kind of felt like that. After watching it 3 times, that's not quite what he's saying, but it's not far either. The growth was so short. We needed to see. And by the way, while he might have been starting to grow up a little bit even before his uncle died, he's still getting laid from another woman. Right, sure. So it's like kind of hard to grow while you're still doing the bad thing.
Yeah, I felt he pined for her through the whole movie, and because she was with Wes, that made him go after Pam even more. Yeah. Like, well, if she's going to do that, I'm going to do this. It's games that young people play. I think we've all
and that's you can look at it that way too.
And he goes, "Hey," and she's like,
because he never called her. Yeah.
And then he gets pissed. He gets all pissy again.
They're just
reaches off.
Children.
And then he says to the guys, I don't know, I don't think she's gonna call me no more. But Jay and Ray both make very good points, and both of them do not make the main character likable at all. You don't give a shit.
I don't think he cares about any of the characters that much.
You don't care
about any of them, really.
It's horrible. Yeah. And to Jay's point, and I actually texted this in the group text, like, he actually says at the end, he apologizes to Sissy and says, I'm sorry for all the way back to the first time I hit you. He apologizes and then says, he sees the bruised face and says, did he hit you? So wait a minute. That's to Jay's point. Before, well, I've apologized for that, so I'm all set. Wait a minute. Only I can hit you, not him. That's it's so nuts.
I almost felt like, well, no, see, mine was open hand. His is a fist. Like that's what it felt like. It was like, come on. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's way less.
Yeah, come on. Totally okay. It sets.
And I also thought Pam's thing was awfully short too, because the whole time it looks like she's falling in love with him, and she hides the fact that she didn't clean the house and she didn't want him to see the letter and all that. And they're in this big relationship. She goes to the funeral like they're this big couple. The family car is waiting, blah, blah, blah. It seems like they're a couple and they've been going out for a long time. So she thinks they're in this big relationship. She's buying him clothes. She really cares about him. And then all of a sudden when she's like, you didn't do this for me, you did this for her, because he was like, where is she? I want her to see this, And then she's like, you didn't do this for me, you did this for her. And so it's not only like she's mad, like what she should be, but then immediately after being mad, which she should be because she's in this real relationship with him, all of a sudden she's like, she's like, you love her, I don't love you like that. So, you just go back to her because she wrote you that letter and she actually did clean your house. And, but if you ever want to cheat on her again, you want to make her jealous, well, you know where to find me. That was just so quick.
Pam's not a good person. That's what it came down to. But she was having fun. She had a boy toy.
None of them are good people. And Travolta's reaction to that speech by Pam is just, not what do you mean? Oh, but is it? I gotta go. And leaves. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. And fucking leave. What is happening? What is happening?
And Pam found out she was married in the parking lot before they left. And it kind of looked like she was like, is that your wife? Like, maybe she would be like, oh, forget it. You're married. She was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Talking about horrible characters, I believe, and I don't want to get in trouble with the guy upstairs, but God had a very interesting arc here where the uncle dies, right?
Yes.
He gives this righteous speech and goody, and this is how you have to be. And then God strikes him down.
It's true. Before God strikes him down, he says, thank the Lord above that I learned to swallow my pride. And it's like the scene in Caddyshack. It's all rat farts. And then he dies. Oh my God.
Well, you know what?
Didn't make God look good in this movie.
Well, it's almost like, and I'm stretching on what you guys are already talking about. It's not like I'm sitting there thinking about this while I'm watching the movie. But it's almost like, okay, Uncle, you've just 100% redeemed everything about your life. Come on home.
Yeah.
God, like I'll make it quick. I promise. Boom, lightning strike.
Jesus, God Almighty.
Now, wait. What about the contrast moment? I mean, how weird is this? Because they make it seem like she's doing something so terrible. When he's hanging upside down, he's hung over, and he falls off of the ledge at work, and he's hanging upside down by his feet.
He's hung over.
Yes. No, but then he's
they
like
made him feel
flipping
like
out.
less of a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're
they
going
made him
back and
feel like
forth.
less of a man that happened.
Yep.
Right, but they go to her, and she's learning the bull, like as if, like it's like they're showing her cheating on him while he's getting hurt at work.
Yeah,
like
I
that's what
noticed
that scene felt like.
Yeah.
But it's like she's riding a bull, a mechanical bull, at like setting number 1. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why are they making her out to be this villain right now? Because it's a contrast scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like your husband's
it's
fighting
really-
for his life right now, and he could die, but you just go have fun on that bull with that guy.
Right. Like if she was like naked in bed with a guy,
Yeah.
and they were showing that while he's hanging upside down, that's a huge contrast that you could go, oh shit, she probably has no idea he's dying right now. He's about to die. She's riding a
It
bull.
was a little showy. It was a little sensual. I think she knew that. She was getting some attention from the guys. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying that. But I think she knew that she was overacting a little bit with the
It
sexuality.
was just a weird
wasn't
scene.
I know.
And then
It was
what
just
about
weird.
when she knows for a fact that he literally went. It wasn't that they were just dancing and making each other jealous, but she knows for a fact that he went off with someone else and they drove away to go have sex. And then she's kissing someone. She's like, I can't do this to Bud. Okay. What's he doing right now?
Well, then he
I don't
comes
know. I
in
can see,
and he can't
where she
look
says,
at
I
her.
cannot do this. I can't do this. I'm married. Or I just don't feel comfortable doing this. But her reason for I can't do this to Bud, I'm like, he's an ass. Like he's been hitting her, telling her what to
she's
do.
more
and now
invested.
he's cheating on her somewhere else. Like,
Oh, young love.
Yeah,
Right.
young love.
No,
He's
but
likable
guys-
because he never threw away the license plate. That
never
melted
went?
my heart. He never threw away the little license plate
A great
Oh,
ending.
oh,
that
yeah.
said Texas
Yeah.
Sissy.
that was funny how he just shoves it back in the back. Like, I'll just get out of the glove compartment. Everything's fine now.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I want to make one more point. I know we're running out of time, so I want to get this in. Does anybody think that bull riding scene at the end, which was 25 minutes long, could have been 5 minutes if they used the proper 80s montage scene? They could have done one Charlie Daniels song with cuts of everybody riding. Instead, it was the whole goddamn
I
tournament.
fast forwarded it. I fast forwarded through all the other guys because who cares? And then
I saw one guy go to the bathroom, and it was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he came out.
yeah.
I will. The writing in this movie, I will tell you, man. Like I also fast forwarded because once a scene started, I knew exactly how it was going to end.
Yes.
I'd fast forward to the end of the scene. I'm like, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And it's just like I shouldn't be able to predict it. It was terrible.
I just
You never-
the same
this-
thing.
You heard of an expression a lot in this movie. It was work, come home, we'll go Gillies.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. That's all they fucking said was, want to go Gillies?
You better have some food on the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have some goddamn that tuna salad.
clean house.
I was just gonna say she made tuna.
terrible.
The other lady comes over with tuna salad.
That tuna salad.
Would she
Flo,
say the house?
I mean,
is-
Flo-
would she say the house is,
Flo should know how to make a tuna salad.
Yeah, right. Flo from the diner. What'd she call? What'd she say the house looked like a rat? Like what'd she say?
Pigs.
You guys live like
they
pigs.
You guys look like pigs. Yeah.
Well, there was slop in the sink, like legit banana peels and old food and shit. Oh God.
Oh, it's gross. Yeah.
Despicable.
Well,
And they
they
just
get home from work and go to Gillies. They don't do
I know.
anything at home.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's the thing: like when you live in that kind of culture, like you work with the same set of people, and then you go home for like 2 hours, and then you go see the same set of people at the bar, and then you go home and sleep and go to work with the same set of people.
Yeah.
It's like weird social inbreeding. Like you never get away from each other, and you're always in everybody's lives. Oh, and by the way, one more thing before maybe we get to TMI is the following: like they're at this point, at some point in the movie, they're on the outs with each other, you know. And so they end up going to Gillies with the other person, you know.
It's like
And
they start off on the
no one
Yeah.
bats an eye. Nobody said, "Hey, what the hell? What are you doing with him here?"
Yeah.
Like, or even just not even judgy, just like, "Wow, what happened?" They're just like, "Oh, he's just with this dude."
Yeah. They just got married, and then there's with two other people, like, immediately, and they're like, oh, all right.
Yeah. You know why?
Was it not
'Cause
mind-blowing?
You take the wedding, you take marriage seriously up here in the north. All right, what?
Was it not last thing for me, was it not mind-blowing when they're already having problems and like Wes says, how long you been married? About a week or so.
She can't remember. Yeah. She goes, I don't know, not that. She goes, not long.
No, but,
I don't know, not long or something. She said that first.
Right, but then she mentions about a week.
Yeah.
Right? I swear months had passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this whole thing happened within 3 weeks. I don't know.
Was it?
Thanks, Ray.
From breakfast when he came downstairs to when he drives off.
How about that girl?
And part of that was shaving the beard.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. How about that girl she kept talking to, like, every day? Oh, did he call? Did Bud call? Whatever. And the next thing you know, she's the one that's inside the door that Wes was, cheating on with, and they were friends. And she goes, oh, sorry. She goes, doesn't matter. And then Wes is like, you can't expect a guy like me. Like, he's so great. You can't expect a guy like me to be loyal. Yeah, stay faithful or be loyal or something. Like, I'm so great.
Lovely
Everybody
people.
wants me.
And not only did he hit her, but they had to show him dragging her around by her hair, which I thought did not need to happen.
Nope.
Like, the hitting was enough. And then the filmmaker said, let's make him out to be a real dick.
Immediately.
Grab her hair, drag her around.
Push her face on the floor, pick up the cigarettes. Like,
yeah, Scott Glenn seems like the kind of guy that would do method acting, right? So I wonder how that went down behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How about a little less grip there, Scott? Look, on the back of her head, like,
They said he was hard to work with.
She's not sissy.
Yeah.
What's that?
They said he was that his character kind of, not the hitting part, but he kind of had that. He was known to be hard to work with and hard and tough, and he kind of had a little bit of that character. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Good times.
I prefer people that shut it off. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's time for TMI with Melanie.
Listen to this. I am in the bathroom right before the movie starts. And I'm in the stall, and there's no toilet paper.
And mine are at home in a display case above my bed.
TMI, my friends.
It's just
TMI?
Too much information.
Say don't go there, but that's lame.
Now, here's Melanie with your timeless movie info.
All right, Melanie. Ride that bull.
I would.
On 12.
All right, anyway.
Dinner.
The budget was $10 million and it grossed $53.3 million. Sissy Spacek was originally cast for the role, but she had a falling out with John Travolta and she said no. So many actresses auditioned for the role. Michelle Pfeiffer and Deborah Winger were two of them. I think this is horrible. I don't know if you guys read this or not, but Robert Evans sent Deborah Winger back from location because he did not think that she was attractive enough for the role. He told her that. You're not pretty enough.
Lovely.
And he didn't want her. He wanted Michelle Pfeiffer. And another producer wanted Michelle Pfeiffer as well. And it was only from the assistance of director James Bridges that it could only be Deborah Winger and that she would be the only one that he would want to have the role. Who do you think is prettier, though? Sissy Spacek or
Pam.
Deborah Winger? Huh?
I think they both.
You didn't even give me the option. I just said Pam. Like,
I know,
she was
Pam
prettier
from
than
Funny
Deborah
Farm
Winger.
too, by the way, from Funny Farm.
Yes.
That was the wife from Funny Farm. But no, who do you think is prettier?
I wouldn't.
what,
I don't know.
Sissy Spacek?
Yeah, or Deborah Winger. Being a guy.
Sorry, Ray.
Oh, sorry. I think they were both very attractive. I don't think I could pick. I would say Deborah Winger, just a little bit.
Yeah, well, see, and I think so too, and that's why, like, he was made her feel like she was so ugly, and Sissy Spacek was so much prettier than her, because that was the original cast for the role. Like, I don't know, that's what that was mean. The script was originally written for Dennis Quaid, for the role of Bud, and the lead part ended up obviously going to John Travolta. Patrick Swayze's mother taught John Travolta how to do the two-step for the movie. John Travolta had a mechanical bull installed in his house 2 months before the production began, so he could become so good that he was allowed to dismiss the stunt double, and he did all the takes himself. To prepare for his role, he What? When he laughed.
I'm laughing. No, Chris's expression. He went, ooh.
Ooh.
Like,
Oh, the
You know what?
fake bull.
I bet you that put Scott Glenn in his place too.
Yeah.
It's like Scott Glenn, oh, stunt guy, go ahead and do it. John, you're up. Well, wait a minute. Why is this stunt guy doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, John knows how to ride.
Yeah, he doesn't need
Yeah,
it.
that.
he's going to fly here on his own airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. To prepare for his role, he frequented clubs and bars of Houston, Texas, especially Gillies, to hang out with the Cowboys so they could see how they talked and walked, because he did not have the same accent, obviously. At the time the film was shot, Gillies was used as the main nightclub location. It was the largest nightclub in the entire world. It was actually in Guinness Book of World Records. Wow. This was later overtaken by Billy's Bob's in Texas. In Fort Worth. It was so large that it did not have a mechanical bull. It actually had real bulls in an indoor arena. Can you imagine?
Smell great. No, I'm trying not to.
But that's how big this place is. That's massive. Inside, they're like, we don't need no mechanical bulls. We're gonna get some real ones in here. You know, like, can you imagine?
That's so frightening.
Let's
All right.
see. The prison rodeo scene was authentic and was shot in Huntsville, Texas State Prison. The prison held a rodeo from 1931 to 1986. And I'm sorry, but I have to say that every time I see anybody riding a bull, I'm rooting for the bull. Every time.
Sure. Hey, by the way,
major animal cruelty. What?
The movie Stir Crazy. I wonder if that was set at the same
I think
rodeo.
they said it was when I was reading that. Because, yeah, I think it was. After initial box office returns were surprisingly low, a newspaper poll was taken in the summer of 1980 to figure out why teenagers were not flocking to go see the film. And one of the main complaints from kids was that they did not know what the word urban meant.
Oh my God.
That's why they're blaming it on the movie not being good.
I'm so glad I'm glad the kids in the 70s also had a crappy vocabulary. Fantastic.
Yeah. The scene where Scott Glenn chews up and swallows the worm after drinking the bottle of tequila was not scripted. He did it as a joke. The story of Bud, this is what I've been dying to tell you. We're all like, why would anybody write this movie? And I don't know if you looked this up or not, but the story of Bud, John Travolta, and Sissy Deborah Winger was loosely based on a real-life marriage of Donald Dew Westbrook and Betty Jo Helmer, who met at Gillies when they were both 18 years old. They married within a few months and held their wedding reception at Gillies. They were already separated by the time the movie was being filmed. And later after this, they got divorced. They were both in the set to help with the movie. Deborah and Betty got along really great and hit it off, and Deborah actually wore Betty's wedding dress in the movie. Dew and John did not hit it off, and Dew was not thrilled by the idea of being played by John Travolta, saying that he thought Travolta was too disco.
Well, he ain't wrong.
Where'd you get that idea from?
I can't imagine. Travolta wearing a lot of guy liner in this movie, by the way.
Really? I didn't even notice that. Was he?
A lot of guy liner.
I'll have to go look at that. Well, no, I really don't have to. I'll go look at a picture on the internet.
Yeah, don't. All right.
Also, there is supposed to be an urban cowboy TV series. There was supposed to be an urban cowboy TV series in 2015, and it was canceled. And now there's more talk about Paramount Plus picking up the TV series.
For the love of God.
Please no.
Let this podcast be a warning. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know. It's like some sort of cult classic now. I don't know why, but I was reading stuff like that.
It's not even like fun to watch because it's bad.
Yeah.
Like it's just bad.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Okay.
I think that's the problem. Like a few tweaks here and there, it could be a cult classic, but because it's so unpleasant, and because most of the characters are so fucking unpleasant, that ruined the movie. But it's such a small thing. It's a few tweaks in the script that they could have saved this movie with.
Yeah.
Or maybe some handy editing, even just some editing. Like you would have been able to make them look a little better.
And just for time, like I mean, like we have to watch Bud work. Then we have to watch Bud go to the club, and nothing happens sometimes. Like they're just dancing, you know, drinking. Hey, you know, they have this thing here, like, you know, like what's this? And then it's just insane. And then Melanie just hit the bell. Ding. It's almost like we're done. Let's hear for final judgment.
It's time now.
I can't imagine
for final
what we're gonna say.
Judgment.
Not sure.
Are you ready to rubber stamp this bitch? Here's the final judgment.
Final Judgment. This feels
I
like
think it's the
Final
best
Judgment.
movie I've ever seen in my life. I intend on watching it multiple times a year.
All right. Well, on that note, let's go with Melanie. See how well it holds up today.
It obviously does not hold up. I don't understand how they can make a series. I guess it would have new characters, new script, new everything. Maybe it would be a little bit different, better writing. I don't know. But no, absolutely not. And that's all I have to say.
All right.
All right. I'll go. No,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, it doesn't hold up. It's it's like, it's reminiscent of a time in the United States that we all kind of trying to forget about so desperately, of how men treated women and marriage relationships and some of the stereotypes that kind of trickled out of particular regions of the United States. It's it doesn't hold up. I don't know why it was critically acclaimed. I'm trying to think of why it was good to begin with. Because it was, I asked my wife, she's like, this was a big deal. People dug it. I'm like, how? She's like, I have no idea. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's no, absolutely not.
And no one would watch it with me. Everyone's like, no, I don't want to watch that.
No, right.
I would love to see the director's cut of this, but less of the movie. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they usually add things on, like the Zack Snyder 5-hour Justice League. I would love to see an director's cut of this movie where I think they actually could save it. I think the two slaps could be cut out, and I think that makes Bud a better person. And the bull riding scene was long and boring. But I really think that with a little editing, like we talked about, Chris, I think they could make this movie salvageable.
Sure.
But it doesn't hold up today.
No.
You got to take all the domestic violence out of it. I was trying to, while I was watching this, I was trying to think of what we see today that has that much shock and awe when it comes to abuse. And I don't think we see that anymore in TV and film. I think it might be implied sometimes, but I don't think anybody dares show a beating on a woman in today's film. So that surprised me. That's the biggest reason why it doesn't hold up.
And
But again, if they cut it down to an hour and a half, they could save this movie.
Sure.
Kind of made it seem like everybody like that is like everybody over there is like that. You know what I mean? Like you're taking one that's a little bit better than the other.
And Ray, let's look at it this way in terms of lazy writing. You can do nowadays, if you want to have a serious discussion about domestic abuse via TV or movies, you can do it without actually showing the violence, and it's still as powerful. You don't.
It's implied.
Have to do it, and it still sinks deep. It still hits all the points. You don't need to actually show it. So what
lazy
the fuck?
filmmaking.
It's lazy. It's absolutely lazy.
Well, I would say if they're going to show somebody they're not the hero of the movie. Like we're like we're supposed to root for Bud. I mean, like, you know what I mean? We're like looking at him going, "Yay!" I think.
I think they had to show Wes making Deborah Winger pick up the cigarettes, though. And kind of push her head down to see how much of a controlling jackass he is.
Well, no, they had to make him worse than Bud.
Yeah, because they have to. And then later on, just the bruises on her face, you know what I mean? But I thought that was just a really quick turnaround. Like, oh, he's just like Mr. Perfect, and all of a sudden he's a cheater. And within 30 seconds after finding out he's a cheater, now he's going to start being majorly physically abusive for the rest of the film.
I didn't trust him from the start. I didn't. As soon as he eyeballed Bud, I didn't trust him from the start.
Yeah.
Oh, and he broke his arm on purpose, like but try to get. And then she said he got fired for hurting too many people, so he apparently liked doing that.
That's not a red flag.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say no. But I've been waiting a long time to say no, among other people. Like I said, yay, finally happened. And it's a wonderful. It's like music to my ears. I was like, tell me somebody else has seen this and feels the same way. Now, now think about this though. It's like, yes, there's so much wrong with it about the abuse and the just like Melanie was saying, the ownership aspect. It was like, like you're mine. You don't get on that bull because I said you're a woman. This is your womanly, duty. I want a good meal.
Yeah, get on the
it was brutal. It's like, that's why they don't make the honeymooners anymore. You know what I mean? Like, Alice, one of these days, pow, right in the kiss. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, this is
Alice always had the power.
I get you. I'm saying, but still, people would laugh about To the Moon. People would laugh about that. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. But it's brutal. Like that's all I got.
It's hard to watch. It just seemed to take an eternity.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Well, hey, that was Urban Cowboy.
If you haven't seen it, go right out and watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, with that stunning take. All right, well, that was our show. I'd like to thank Ray Auger for being here. Welcome once again, Ray. Tell us all about your podcasts.
Well, I've got the New England Legends podcast with Jeff Belanger. We talk about New England Legends. It's in the name. And then Don't Quit Your Day Job, where I talk to local cover band musicians.
That's so
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me. I love doing this.
Thank you,
Ray. Thank you so much for being here, man. Well, I'd also like to thank Steve Lavoie for our vocal imaging and Draco and the Malfoys for our theme music. And please help us grow by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and be sure to tell everybody about it. Please help us grow. I am Jay Fortier, and on the behalf of Chris Martineau and Melanie Howerton, I'd like to thank you again for joining us here on the Film Crickets. Until next time, movies may not age like fine wine, but we drink it anyway. Or Lone Star beer.
Lone Star beer.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Chirp about movies.